My friends, pay attention to the sound coming from the Oval Office. It's not the sound of papers being signed or diplomatic toasts. It's the sound of a digital timer that Donald Trump just placed on Xi Jinping's desk. Tick-tock. China's time is running out. What you're going to see in a few days won't be a summit meeting. It will be a surrender hearing because Trump didn't send an invitation for dinner. He sent a 14-day ultimatum. The message is short, blunt, and lethal. Either Beijing accepts the American terms or the world as we know it will come to a halt. Trump isn't waiting for the meeting to take action. He will already be sitting in front of Xi Jinping with the naval blockade in full effect. With the Chinese economy starting to hyperventilate and Beijing's favorite gas station, Iran, being suffocated in real time. My friends, what we're witnessing is a geopolitical pincer maneuver that will be studied in the coming days. On one side, the financial suffocation of Tehran, and on the other, the kinetic encirclement of Beijing. Trump isn't playing chess. He's playing poker with the United States Navy's cards laid out on the table. He's telling the world, I don't need to fire a shot to destroy your regime. I just need to shut off the tap. The summit taking place in a few days in China is the judgment day for the economy. And Xi Jinping is finding out that Beijing's bluff is being exposed. And to understand how Trump is cornering China without firing a single missile, you need to understand what's happening with Iran's shadow fleet. China survives on cheap illegal oil coming from Tehran. It's the fuel that keeps Chinese factories running and prices competitive. And it's ironic. Fossil fuel coming from Iran, powering factories that build electric cars. From the green agenda of the globalists. Yes, my friends, they use oil purely to manufacture the famous electric cars of the European and Brazilian leftists. But Trump cut that whole scheme short. The 7th Fleet of the United States Navy is not just patrolling, it's hunting. Using AIS, the Automatic Identification System, integrated with a state-of-the-art reconnaissance satellite network. They're identifying every oil tanker that tries to evade the sanctions. Iran is trying to play a cat-and-mouse game with the biggest navy on the planet, and they're losing by a landslide. Iranian oil tankers are now stuck in port, afraid to set sail. Those who dare to venture out have to take extremely long routes, going around entire continents to avoid being captured, which ends up making this cheap oil more expensive than the oil on the market. The cost of the escape route is crushing cash flow. It has turned illegal supply into a logistical nightmare. Beijing is watching its expendable fuel source get sealed off, and the remaining fuel is becoming inaccessible. It's energy suffocation in its purest form, and most people aren't seeing this move. As the oil dries up, the military encirclement tightens. Look at the map of the Pacific. What you see isn't just a military presence, it's a doctrine of total containment. He's occupying the region in a way that no president has ever done before. American Marines are training with live .50 caliber ammunition in South Korea, just a few kilometers from the border. But the real punch in the gut for Xi Jinping comes from the South and the East. American and Filipino special forces are training side by side at strategic points that control access to the South China Sea. And here's the difference. Japan has entered the fray in full force. For the first time in modern history, Japan's top operational command is training in integrated exercises with the United States Marine Corps in intensive exercises on the southeastern islands right next to Taiwan. This is what we call Island Hopping 2.0, the leap between islands. The United States is not just defending Taiwan. They are turning every small island in the region into an impregnable fortress. It's the geometry of siege, where China has nowhere to run. Xi Jinping is watching his maritime borders being taken over by American war machines and determined allies who have lost their fear of Beijing. The Iron Fleet of the 7th Fleet has created a ring of steel that prevents any Chinese expansionist movement. But what really keeps Xi Jinping up at night isn't just the ships. It's what's hidden in the jungles of the Philippines and on the bases in Japan. We're talking about the most advanced ground attack technology. The United States has deployed the Typhoon system in the Philippines. For those who don't know, the Typhoon is a land-based launcher capable of firing Tomahawk missiles and SM-6 missiles at naval and land targets hundreds of kilometers away. This completely changes the power equation. Before, China thought it could keep the United States Navy away using its long-range missiles, a multi-layered shield that would keep American aircraft carriers out. Now, the United States has placed land-based missiles that can hit Chinese bases and Xi Jinping's Navy ships before those ships even leave port. It's the end of Beijing's geographic advantage. Trump isn't just surrounding them, he's putting a digital knife to the throat of the Chinese military. The Typhoon system is invisible, mobile, and lethal. It turns the Philippines into an irreplaceable and unsinkable aircraft carrier. Xi Jinping knows that if he tries any move against Taiwan, the land-based Tomahawks can destroy his command infrastructure in minutes. It's American technological supremacy being used as a tool for preventive punishment. Now hold on a second, let's look at pure geopolitics, the point where the heart of China stops beating. Look at the Strait of Malacca. Almost 80% of the oil China imports passes through that narrow waterway. If the Strait of Malacca closes, China grinds to a halt in 30 days. The lights go out, the factories stop, and social chaos takes over Beijing. Trump knows this. He's got his hand on Beijing's oxygen valve. By positioning the 7th Fleet and strengthening the alliance with India and Australia, the United States has created the ability to close Malacca with a snap of its fingers. China is caught in the Malacca trap. They spent billions building artificial islands and destroying reefs, but Trump simply ignored the islands and went straight for China's lifeline. There's no point in having missiles if you don't have fuel to move your tanks or electricity to power your cities. Trump turned China's energy dependence into its greatest weakness. Xi Jinping is not negotiating trade tariffs. He is negotiating China's right to keep breathing as an industrial power. Why? Because in Washington's hands, and Trump doesn't seem willing to ease the pressure. China controls the rare earths that are important for building satellites, chips, and fighter jets. And Trump controls the oxygen that allows China to build anything. The domino effect of this strategy is devastating for the so-called axis of resistance. Iran is begging for China to intervene, for Xi Jinping to use his influence to stop Trump. But Xi is too busy trying to save himself. Iran is running out of money to finance terrorism in the Middle East because its biggest customer, China, can no longer guarantee the transportation of its oil. We are witnessing the disintegration of the Axis. Iran believed that China would be its shield against American sanctions. Now they realize that China is just another target. Tehran is becoming more isolated every day, running out of cash and watching its allies in Beijing back down in the face of American brute force. Xi Jinping has the chance to become a true world leader today, yes. But for that, he will have to bring his ally Iran to total surrender. Do you get the point here? Pressure from all sides, then surrender. Otherwise, both will suffocate together. Trump proved that fake globalism can't stand up to the raw muscle of someone with courage. And a nation that decided to reclaim its sovereignty and protect its interests at any cost. Is the humiliation of Tehran a reflection of what awaits Beijing if there isn't a surrender in the next few days when Trump lands in China? With all the pomp and circumstance that he, as a good negotiator, is capable of bringing with him? My friends, the world as we know it is changing before our eyes. The question that's going to set the comments on fire today: will Jinping be a leader or a vassal? Will he accept Trump's terms or save the Chinese economy? Or will he double down and throw the world into chaos? What's at stake at the summit in a few days is the definition of who will call the shots in the 21st century. Trump made it clear there's no way out. Either they surrender or they suffocate. The era of globalist parasites and dictatorships funded by illicit oil is coming to an end, or at least it will be reduced. The real world, the world of strength and strategy, is gradually taking back control. If you understand that true sovereignty is not achieved with climate agendas or empty speeches, but with courage and real power, comment surrender down below. What I've shown you here is just the tip of the iceberg, my friend. If you want the data that the globalist media hides, if you want to understand the movement of the troops and the defense contracts that are being signed right now, you need to join our Bunker Digital. That's where we coldly analyze every piece of this puzzle. Free from censorship, no whining, where a stroke of a pen from you nowhere can't take us down. We are more than 3,000 subscribers who already fund this independent intelligence that we bring to you here. So come join this community that keeps growing in Brazil. Link in the description, QR code here on the screen, and in the first comment. Click and come join our community. And for those of you who want to protect your mind and your family from woke culture, check out our series and movies channel. And look, there's an amazing series that talks about Iran, Mossad, the CIA, and infiltrators at the heart of the Iranian regime. It's a chilling series. We talk about it here on our series and movies channel. Link in the description, in the first pinned comment, and also in the card. No woke culture, no whining, with a curated selection already filtered for you to just enjoy with your family. And we can chat about this other area of live cinema art, which I also really enjoy. And our team will bring the best to you. Now shield your mind, protect your perception, and be ready for what's coming next. I'm Shimon Oliveira, and I'll see you in the next video. See you then.